Hi, today I'm going to show you how I wired my diesel heater up when I installed it in my tractor. So here we go.
The white wire is a two-strand wire that I purchased at Home Hardware here. I took one strand, ran it to the negative post. The other strand ran it to the positive post on the battery of the tractor. I connected the wire to the battery post by little electrical connectors. You just buy a kit and little crimpers with it and everything. It's $20 or something. Worked out pretty good. On the positive wire, I installed a little inline fuse. They're called. You can pick them up at any hardware store. I'll show them to you in a minute. There it is there, a little black thing. There's a fuse that goes inside that little rubber casing. I just used the crimper and the little wire connectors to connect the wires together. So again, it's just the wire from the positive battery runs to this little inline fuse, and you hook up the wire again by hooking up the leads on both sides of the inline fuse. Again, here's the inline fuse, a little close up, and you just take the cap off and you put the fuse right inside that rubber compartment there, and it keeps it all dry. Speaking of keeping it all dry and the connections a little more secure, I wrapped electrical tape around each of the connectors. Sometimes these little connectors are not very secure. All you're doing is sliding the wire in a little hole and you're crimping it. And when you crimp it, sometimes the wire can slide out. So I put a good wrap of electrical tape on it, and it makes it a lot more secure, and it does keep the water from seeping in, because there's lots of water flying around when you're blowing snow. So I routed the other end of the wire back to the diesel heater in the cab. It's very important to note. See how I clipped it? I clipped it on something secure because I don't want that wire getting hooked up to the fan belt. You can create yourself all kinds of problems there. So I ran it back, and those little plastic ties work wonders to fasten it to stuff so it doesn't run away into the fan on you, and it can create a lot of problems. So I ran it back into the cab where the diesel heater is, and there's just two wires coming off the diesel heater, a positive and a negative. So let's see how I hook that up on the inside of the tractor. I could have ran and connected the wires directly to the diesel heater, but I put a switch on the positive lead of the battery. This way I can ensure that I can turn that switch off and there's no electricity going to drain my battery. So with that little switch turned on, I fired up the diesel heater, and presto, I have the diesel heater running. Very important to note, you are connected directly to the battery, so make sure this is turned off when you leave your tractor, or you could kill your battery. And as a safety precaution, like I did, I installed a little switch and I turned that off as well. So I want to show you one more very important thing when hooking up these diesel heaters, and that is the exhaust off that diesel heater gets very hot. And here we have it here, and it's very hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little tailpipe. I'm going to put over that just so that it'll keep the heat down, and maybe it won't cause a fire. So if you like this video, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.